North Korean soldiers deployed to fight against Ukraine have been instructed to take their own lives to avoid capture, according to an assessment by South Korea's spy agency. South Korea's National Intelligence Service told lawmakers that over 300 North Korean troops have died, along with more than 2,700 wounded, while supporting Russia's war efforts. A lawmaker later provided a summary of the briefing to reporters. Among the dead soldiers, notes were discovered indicating that the regime pressured the troops to kill themselves rather than be taken prisoner, the National Intelligence Service alleged. Some notes contained hopes of joining the ruling Workers' Party of Korea or being pardoned. The revelation came after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced the capture of the first 2 North Korean soldiers fighting in the war. According to the National Intelligence Agency, North Korean troops have suffered massive casualties due to their lack of understanding of modern warfare, a point raised during a closed-door briefing with South Korean lawmakers. Ruling party legislator Lee Seong-kwon later disclosed the points to the meeting. While the National Intelligence Service put the number of North Korean casualties at 300, Zelensky claimed that at least 4,000 North Korean troops have died in Russia's Kursk region, where Kyiv says Pyongyang has deployed 11,000 personnel to support the Russian forces. The US estimates the number of North Korean deaths at around 1,000. Reuters says that after a battle in Russia's snowy western region of Kursk this week, Ukrainian special forces scoured the bodies of more than a dozen slain North Korean enemy soldiers. Among them, they found one still alive, but as they approached, he detonated a grenade, blowing himself up, according to a description of the fighting posted on social media by Ukraine's Special Operations Forces. The forces said their soldiers escaped the blast uninjured. Reuters could not verify the incident, but it is among mounting evidence from the battlefield, intelligence reports, and testimonies of defectors that some North Korean soldiers are resorting to extreme measures as they support Russia's 3-year war with Ukraine. Self-detonation and suicides. That's the reality about North Korea, said Kim, a 32-year-old former North Korean soldier who defected to the south in 2022, requesting he only be identified by his surname due to fears of reprisals against his family left in the north. These soldiers who left home for a fight there have been brainwashed and are truly ready to sacrifice themselves for Kim Jong-un, he added, referring to the reclusive North Korean leader. Kim, introduced to Reuters by Seoul-based human rights group NK Imprisonment Victims Family Association, said he had worked for North Korea's military in Russia for about 7 years up until 2021 on construction projects to earn foreign currency for the regime. News that soldiers have been sent to fight Ukraine has spread throughout North Korea, and families of the deployed have voiced fear and concern, the National Intelligence Service alleged. Those families are being compensated with food and living necessities, the spy agency said. Citizens with no connection to the troops hope Russia will provide aid that improves the livelihoods of the North Korean public, according to the National Intelligence Service.
U.S. President Joe Biden has highlighted Russian President Vladimir Putin's failure to invade Kyiv since Russia's full-fledged invasion of Ukraine in February 2024. When Putin invaded Ukraine, he thought he'd conquer Kyiv in a matter of days. The truth is, since that war began, I'm the only one who stood in the center of Kyiv, not him. Putin never has, Biden said during his last speech in the State Department on Monday as he prepares to leave office next week. As the new administration begins, the United States is in a fundamentally stronger position with respect to these countries than we were 4 years ago, he added. Biden said. The United States is winning the worldwide competition. Compared to 4 years ago, America is stronger, our alliances are stronger, our adversaries and competitors are weaker, the outgoing U.S. president said.
I come here to the State Department to report on to the American people on the progress we've made in the last 4 years in our foreign policy and our presidency. I've said many times, we're at an inflection point. The post-Cold War period is over. A new era has begun. In these 4 years, we faced crises that we've been tested. We've come through those tests stronger, in my view, than we entered those tests. This is a fierce competition underway. The future of the global economy, technology, human values, and so much else. Right now, in my view, thanks to our administration, the United States is winning the worldwide competition. Compared to 4 years ago, America is stronger. Our alliances are stronger. Our adversaries and competitors are weaker. We have not gone to war to make these things happen, although there's more work to do. Our technologies, from artificial intelligence to biotech, quantum, and today I can report to the American people, our adversaries are weaker than were when we came into this job 4 years ago. Just consider Russia. When Putin invaded Ukraine, he thought he'd conquer Kyiv in a matter of days. But the truth is, since that war began, I'm the only one that stood in the center of Kyiv, not him. Putin never has. Think about it. And now, nearly three years later, Putin has failed to achieve any of his strategic objectives. He has failed thus far to subjugate Ukraine, failed to break the unity of NATO, and failed to make large territorial gains. There's more to do. We can't walk away. We rallied 50 nations to stand with Ukraine, not just in Europe, but for the first time in Asia as well. Because those countries in Asia know what happens in Ukraine matters to them as well. Affordable high-speed internet and so much more to build American manufacturing. As I saw it, when Putin launched his invasion, I had two jobs. One, to rally the world to defend Ukraine, and the other is to avoid war between two nuclear powers. We did both those things. Today, Ukraine is still a free, independent country with the potential for a bright future. And we laid the foundation for the next administration so they can protect the bright future of the Ukrainian people. Attacks by Hamas on October the 7th. Iran directly attacked Israel twice. And if you want more evidence that we've seriously weakened Iran and Russia, just take a look at Syria. President Assad was both countries' closest ally in the Middle East. Neither could keep him in power. Quite frankly, neither really tried very hard. Now, I cannot claim credit for every factor that led to Iran and Russia growing weaker in the past 4 years. They did plenty of damage all by themselves. But Israel did plenty of damage to Iran and its proxies. But there's no question, our actions contributed significantly. And now major authoritarian states are aligning more closely with one another. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea. But that's more out of weakness than out of strength. So as the new administration begins, the United States is in a fundamentally stronger position with respect to these countries than we were 4 years ago. Ultimately, I saw no reason to keep thousands of servicemen in Afghanistan.